to tell us what we are. So when you say, are we in a fallen state? You are part of the problem, Jesse.
No, I've been working 30 years to show blacks how to overcome the fallen state by showing them how to go and forgive their parents for failing them and return to the Father.
I'm energized, women lie, on God, numbers don't. Started talking about moves, that's right, when she got close.
It's Young, the one who do it. Numbers don't lie. That's the movement. Now let's get to it. We about to get into a clip. We're going to react to a clip from Jesse Lee Peterson. If y'all familiar with him, he's a guy, some old black dude from the South, basically like an Uncle Ruckus, or Uncle Tom. He's pretty much a sellout. He's always talking about the blacks as if he's not black. And he makes white people uncomfortable as well when they get on his platform. Let's look and see. This joint is with Monique and your boy Jesse Lee Peterson.
I felt myself like, what is he? But then I had to say, you know what, Monique? When you talk about love, you got to walk in it. And though you and Jesse Lee may not agree, it don't stop me from loving you.
There you go.
What I do have for you, brother, is empathy. Because when the disconnection comes in, and you a black man, make no mistake, mama.
Black has the ace of space.
You when I look at you, I don't see no space. I see a black man.
Black has the ace of space.
What?
Black has the ace of space.
As the ace, you black as E and J on the rock.
That's right.
So when I see my brother that is a beautiful king, and our community needs our kings. And we don't need our kings to talk against us or at us. We need our kings to talk to us and with us. We don't need our kings to tell us all that we're not. We need our kings.
I do think that both sides have a point. Then there's the real thing that's needed somewhere in the middle. I think we got to hold each other accountable. But let me see. Let her cook. Let me see exactly what she's going to say before I cut her off.
To tell us what we are. So when you say, are we in a fallen state? You are part of the problem, Jesse.
No, I've been working 30 years to show blacks how to overcome the fallen state by showing them how to go and forgive their parents for failing them and return to the fathers. And once they do that, life become amazing because they fall away from the color thing. They fall away from anger. They fall away from anger.
I've heard, when I hear us refer to us as black people,
I would love to see how many people he actually helped out from the ideology that he teaches. I don't believe this dude, not a second.
When I hear, that's why I say us and we, because they my people. It's me. I can't disconnect me and say those black people. I'm trying to talk to the black people. I'm talking to us. I'm talking to our community. So when you start disconnecting the blacks, like now, you know, I'm not like I'm trying to teach the black people. Not I'm trying to teach my people.
But Monique, once you're born again of God, your people are. And my people would be the people who have been born again of God, returned to the Father, and they're of the Spirit, not of the color.
See, this is the part that I have a problem understanding and grasping when we're talking about religion. When people always say, you know, it's not about color, everybody's the same. If that was true, why in the Bible do they talk about genealogy? Why do they talk about the actual names of people, where they came from, where their families were? And then they actually do describe colors of skin in the Bible. If all of these things are just made up, why is it so important that people are certain people? And then they actually make it known by saying every single name that came before. So when people talk like this, to me, it sounds like they've been indoctrinated by that slavery religion that used to be in America. Just my thoughts.
So those are your people now.
Us like that. If the world saw us like that, it wouldn't be inequality. It wouldn't be injustice. It wouldn't be one of our black men or daughters.
But it doesn't. Once you're born of God, it doesn't matter.
Shot up and beat and killed for no reason. So Jesse, yes, color does matter. And stop. You can't sell. If color did not matter,
it doesn't.
well, then we would see just as many white babies being killed by police brutality than we're seeing black babies. If color did not matter, then you would not have.
So we're going to analyze the numbers. You know, numbers don't lie. We're looking at 2024 to 2025 trends. So when analyzing police shootings, there's a distinct difference between total numbers and per capita rates. So the total count, if we look at raw numbers, police do shoot and kill more white people annually. That's where a lot of people be like, I told you. So it's roughly 2,500 since 2015 than any other race. But when we look at per capita rate, when it's adjusted by the population size, black Americans have been killed at a rate roughly 2.5 to 3 times higher than white Americans. So there you go.
The black community saying this is inequality. If color did not matter, you would not have our school system. See, and I've been in it. I've been to those inner city schools, and the teachers say to me, Monique, they don't give us the funding. We don't even have the funding. I've been in it.
But they're being ripped off by their own black leadership because they've turned their lives over to someone else.
Hear me. Wrong is wrong and right is right. I'm not right. You keep bringing up Obama. I'm not making right or wrong. I'm saying, listen, our community is suffering.
But they need fathers. Let me ask you a final question because of time. If black people today were raised by a father and a mother who loved what's right with all their heart, soul, and might, and they set good examples for their children, taught them how to work, how to be responsible, how to treat others the way they would like to be treated, would most black people be in the condition they're in today?
If people.
But how about the blacks?
Let me say this. If our community had both parents in the house and both parents were fighting for the betterment of their children, yes, our community would be better.
That's what we need.
If the white community had both parents in the house, because see what happens, Jesse, is when we get brothers like you, people would think that we are the problem.
You are. Black people are their own problem.
What happens is with the welfare system, it's far more white people on welfare than it is black. Far more.
But why they're not complaining like the blacks?
Huh?
Why you don't hear the whites who are on welfare complaining and blaming someone else like the blacks do?
Well,
all right, so accountability thing comes in. I actually agree with Jesse on this situation. If we had 2 parents in the household, the studies are consistent that children in 2-parent households have significantly lower poverty rate, roughly 8 to 10% compared to children in a single mother household, roughly 35 to 40%. So yeah, we need to stop having single parent households. We need to stop encouraging people to have sex. You know what I'm saying? And then just to leave marriages. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop saying that it's okay. Yo, everything didn't work out. It's all good. You'll find another man that can hold you down when you already have kids. We do have to hold ourselves accountable in the black community. And those are things that we need to do with men. Men need to be better as well. Monique needs to hold herself accountable as well and hold women accountable. Just stop walking around like that doesn't exist. Yeah, we got to build people up. We got to say that we're great, of course. But in the course of that, we need someone there to do that. If no one is there to do that and it's just the mother, that's not going to work out. That doesn't help. A black man needs a black man to see as an example.
I need you to go into the welfare offices, Jesse. I need you to take a trip to the welfare office. See, I did, because I wanted to see it for myself. I wanted to see it. And when you see our white brothers and sisters in there, not that I'm judging, you need to go take a trip. So maybe you'll stop thinking as they brainwashed you into believing, oh, it's just the blacks complaining. No, wrong is wrong and right is right, regardless of the color. And right now, when you start speaking like some white people.
Now, this metric is actually true. 37% of the people on Snap is actually white. 37%. 25% is black. Now, the problem that we have with that, and we have to be honest, is that we still have a higher percentage of our people because we're a smaller percentage of the whole population in America. So yeah, it's more of us that's on Snap as a people. Now, when it comes to the whole country, it's more white people that's on Snap. So that's something they got to deal with. That's their own little problem. They got to stop complaining as well. We got to stop hearing white people complaining about black people and them saying that they're taking up all the resources and all those things, when if you guys are doing so much better and black people are doing so bad, how come it's 37% of white people on Snap? You can't tell me that you don't use something when 37% is made up by you. Now, granted, it's less of a percentage out of your whole racial group, but that's still a lot of people.
People that speak of, oh, the blacks, the blacks, the blacks, the blacks. What that says is, I'm so disconnected from y'all that, yeah, it is y'all problem. It is. Let me show y'all how I can help y'all. Let me show you how I can fix y'all. You're not the savior, Jesse.
But Monique, every adult, you do agree that every adult is responsible for themselves. And when they complain all the time and blame others, that's a sign of weakness, right?
Well, oh, come on. Let's talk about it. When they blame others, that's a sign of weakness. So the man that is your great white hope, every time we see that ass on TV, he complaining about something. So now I want you to chew on your words, Jesse Lee.
But he's not complaining about evil.
Let's stop it. Now I want you to stop it.
Black people aren't the only ignorant people in America. They're not the only racial group that complains. White people actually do a whole lot more complaining than black people, especially behind closed doors. Especially when you see these comments, when you go on to these videos, when it's a racial situation, it's so many white people that's fed up, that's mad, that's complaining. So if y'all so superior, you wouldn't have to complain, right? You'd be able to just do whatever you need to do. Just pull up your bootstraps and all that, like you tell black people to do. That's what I see white men saying all the time. So y'all must just be weak. Keep it a buck. You can't be both. You cannot be both. Now, if we got to be accountable at our people, everyone got to be accountable, because it's in America. We don't get better by one race getting better. You can't just say it's all this person's problem. It's all these people's problem. That problem is your problem as well. Because if you're crying and complaining about something and pointing out someone else, now you're a victim. Just like they say to black people. Got to say it both ways. You got to keep it a buck on both sides. I'm not trying to let nobody not be accountable. That's corny. That's not real. That's not true. That's not stand up. And this dude right here is a weak individual, because he only points at one situation when it's not even the truth.
He's pointing it out. He's pointing it out, not complaining.
So
because he's a winner.
So we're not pointing it out. We're complaining.
Yeah, and burning down and destroying. And
let me say this to you.
Destroying statues and flags as though that's going to make their life better, and not.
As they should have. How do we salute people that owned us, Jesse Lee? How do we walk our children down the street and say, look at this great white hope, as you would refer to them, and tell our children you should respect and honor because they own people that look like us. Maybe not you, maybe not your mom and dad, maybe not their mom and dad, but I can damn sure bet you somewhere down the line, the people that you want to honor and they're your great white hope, they own people that look like you, Jesse Lee. So again, when we have brothers such as yourself and sisters that speak about all that we're doing, and it's just us, it's just the black problem, the blacks, as if you're not, that's the problem.
Black people, not all, but most. Black people, nobody in the world like black people now. They have made it worse for them. No race like them or anybody. They're afraid of them. They try to avoid them. They skirt around.
Why do you think that is, Jesse?
Because they have been acting a fool over the last year or so, burning and destroying and killing and robbing and raping and blaming. Now they have more enemies than they have. They have more enemies today than they had before because nobody liked them.
We know Black American culture is the #1 culture that's mimicked, that's celebrated, that is loved throughout the whole world. And we can see and hear people get on these cameras and show us out of their own mouth that Black culture has influenced them 1,000%. So that's crazy to say that Black people are the most hated all across the globe. Nah, I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure it's the white men that's in power. I'm 100% sure that they are hated more than Black people in America. that's just living their regular life. There's no way that you think the men that do all these awful things, like we look into the Epstein files, they not eating babies? Are we not going to talk about that? They not eating babies? They not out here eating children. I'm sorry. Do we just want to sweep that under the rug? That black people have the worst behavior when there's people out here that we can't even talk about. We can't even see the details because they're so crazy and they're connected to everybody. Everybody's been on this wave. Who's a leader? Who got the money? Who got the bag? Who's the number one family? Who's controlling your dollars? Who's controlling what you're watching? Controlling what you're seeing? Controlling what you're hearing? All of this stuff. I don't know if I can say that. The PDF files, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. The fact that Netflix is 50% of it, they showing you Trent. I don't even know if I can say. There's so many things that I don't know if I could say because of YouTube guidelines. It's crazy. And y'all saying that the worst thing is broke black people in America. Crazy work. This guy is a straight sellout. He should be ashamed of himself. Like, obviously, he's a joke. This dude's a joke. And that dudes don't even like you, man. It'd be funny to see dudes like this sitting here doing everything they can to try to get on the other side. And they're not gonna let you in, bro. They laughing at you.
Know the history. And we don't give a damn not being liked. Let me be clear.
Why not?
You don't have to like me, but you have to respect me.
But you've tried to do it by force, and you can't force anyone to love you.
Fannie Lou Hamer.
Who?
For your producers that are there, are your parents still alive?
My parents?
Yes.
No, they dead.
Okay.
Fannie Lou.
Aunts, uncles, that may be older than you?
Yes.
I feel like you come from a family that didn't tell you about your history. Because when you say to me, who was Fannie Lou Hamer?
Right.
See, I'm going to tell you who she was. Fannie Lou Hamer was a black woman. And as you recall, she's a fat black woman. And that black woman wanted to go vote.
Told you. I didn't know either. So we're going to pull that up real quick. So yeah, I could see out there, Hamer. So she's a men voting and women's rights activist, community organizer, and leader of civil rights movement. She died in 1977. She was the vice chair of the Freedom Democratic Party, which she represented at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. What was she best known for? She rose from humble beginnings in Mississippi Delta to become one of the most important, passionate, and powerful voices of the civil and voting rights movements, and a leader in the efforts for greater economic opportunities for African Americans. Dope. I like that Monique knows what she's talking about. I like that, man. We need that, man. We need a lot of that in the community. So she gets a pat on the back for that, man. She's smoking Jesse Lee right now because he's not saying nothing of substance. All right, let's get back to it.
She simply wanted to go vote, Jesse Lee. And the beating they gave to that black woman, and see, not the white man didn't beat her. The white man stood back and gave the weapon and gave the stick to the black man.
But Monique, what does it have to do with black people today?
I'll tell you, because you asked me
there was a time when women couldn't vote, period.
You asked me about the burning down and the looting. I'm going to tell you about it. That's what you asked me. Well, should they be doing that, right? Should they be doing that?
Right.
Why would they do that? See, this woman named Fannie Lou Hamer, I want you to do your research and your homework so you'll understand why
I know who you're talking about. I heard of her before, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, now you heard of her, right?
Yeah.
So she said, as she was speaking candidly, she said this country was built on our backs.
Not true. Not true.
Very true, Jesse.
No, really.
Built on our backs.
I'm going to have you back, Monique. That is not true. That's not true.
Labor. Jesse, listen. What I'm not going to do is debate you about this.
Right.
Because you and I both can go to the facts and look it up.
So it says, free labor. We tried to quantify the value of free labor cotton production. By 1860, the U.S. South produced 75% of the world's cotton. Enslaved labor was the engine for the Cotton Kingdom, which accounted for more than half of the U.S. exports. So, some historical estimates suggest that the value of enslaved labor contributed roughly 3.5 trillion to the American economy. 3.5 trillion. I would say that sounds like he might have built the country. I would say so. I know we're in the times now where a lot of people are trying to hide the true history. Now, me, I'm not a historian, but trust me, I have a lot of friends, a lot of brothers that have a lot of information. So I will bring them up here in the future and we will get to it. We will get to the facts. We will get to the numbers. We will get to the details. And I know from the work that I'm going to put in, I will make a change in America, and that is everyone's duty. Everyone should be accountable to make this a better place. And the only way we can get to a better place is by sharing truth, not just made up theories, lies, and systems of the past. It's time for the truth, and you cannot hide the truth because that is God. That is what God is about. It's about revealing the truth.
Men lie.
Women lie.
Numbers don't lie. Make sure y'all go get y'all NDL hoodie, man. Get all y'all NDL apparel. I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all see the joint right here. We got the good maroon joint. You see the established 2014 for y'all that know. Numbers don't lie.